What if I tell you there is a specific reason why, even though you think you know how to solve a problem, but then you go on the exam and you keep getting them wrong? That reason is simpler than you think. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this keeps happening to you and how to stop it from happening. Now, we're going to look at two different sets of problems, and I'm going to demonstrate how students mess these up on the exam, even though they already know how to solve them. So let's get right into it. Let's look at these first two problems, okay? So how many milliliters of a 10% weight in volume stock solution should be used to prepare 1,000 ml of a 0.5% weight in volume solution? Now let's look at the second problem. How many milliliters of a 10% weight in volume stock solution should be used to prepare 1,000 ml of a solution with a concentration of 5 milligram per ml? Now, let's say you practice the first problem at home, okay? So you use the typical Q1C1 equal Q2C2 or C1V1 equals C2V2 formula. So it's a one-step problem, right? Now, let's look at the second problem. You get that on the exam, and you might say, oh, it's the same problem that I practiced, but then you don't realize there's one more step you have to do, okay? So what is that step? Let's look at the second problem. The first concentration is in percent, weight in volume. This concentration is in milligram per ml. See how with the first problem, both concentrations were in the same unit? You didn't have to do anything. Here, with this problem right here, one concentration is in percent weight in volume. The second concentration is in milligram per ml. That means you have to do some conversions first. Either you convert that 10% weight in volume to milligram per ml, or you convert that milligram per ml to percent weight in volume before you use that formula. So you have to make sure that the two units match. If you use 5, just like it's written right here, and 10, so use 10 and 5 in the formula, then you're going to get the question wrong. This is something that I emphasize over and over again in my calculation mastery program, because I see this often where students know how to solve a problem, but would get it wrong for some minute detail. So pay attention to that. All right, so I'm going to show you another example where I see students go wrong, even though they understand what's being tested. Now, let's look at the next set of problems. So you have the first one. The order is 15 milligram per kilogram every 12 hours. Patient weighs 20 kilogram. Calculate milligram per day. Now let's look at the second problem. The order is 15 milligram per kilogram per day divided every 12 hours. Patient weighs 20 kilogram. Calculate milligram per day. Now there's a difference here. They look similar at first glance, but there's a difference here. Now for the first problem, let's say that's what you practice at home, okay? For the first problem, you have the dose. It's 15 milligram per kilogram. So you can calculate milligram per dose here by doing 15 times 20. So that's 300 milligram. That's per dose, okay? Now to calculate milligram per day here, you have to multiply this by 2 because it's every 12 hours. So it's 2 doses a day. So 300 times 2, that's 600 milligram per day. Okay? Now, some student might look at the second problem and thinks it's exactly like the first problem. But the difference with the second problem is this 15 milligram per kilogram is per day. It's the daily dose, okay? So when you multiply 15 by 20 here, that's already the daily dose. So milligram per day here is 15 times 20. So that's 300 milligram per day. So for the first problem, milligram per day is 600. Here it's 300. In the first problem, this milligram per kilogram is per dose. In this second problem, this milligram per kilogram is per day. So pay attention to that. You might get tripped up. You see every 12 hours here, you see every 12 hours here, but read the actual line and understand what's being said. It's 15 milligram per kilogram here, every 12 hours. Here, this is 15 milligram per kilogram per day, and it's divided every 12 hours. Okay? So pay attention to these. These are some of the things that I see and some of the reasons why students may get questions wrong on the exam, even though they practice them at home. They understand the concept that's being tested. So don't just memorize and actually understand. If you're a pharmacy student and you're struggling with pharmaceutical calculations, you have issues understanding what concept is being tested. You think you practice at home and you understand, but somehow seems to be confused on the exam and get a grade that you don't like as much. I strongly recommend my Ultimate Pharmaceutical Calculation Mastery Program. The link is in the description below. Now, go crush that exam. You have the tools. You can do it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.